Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about abstract art and just basically explain what is abstract and who started it, uh, and quite a few details if I can have time to get into it. And I also show four of my abstract paintings, different kinds, that you can basically see the range. And if you need to see more, just go to my site, and I listed it below. It's Expromantic art. You can look it up under Expromantic art or expromanticism.com. Anyway, abstract art. What is abstract art? Abstract, by its definition, is basically something that cannot be found in nature. It could be a design, it could be a pattern, it could have lines, it could have shapes, it could have colors, and there are basically no rules for it. The acknowledged master and the forerunner of abstraction or abstract art is Kandinsky. Kandinsky was a Russian painter, and he basically started painting as a basically a hobby and part-time. His goal in life was to be teaching and be a professor of love at a university in Russia. But later, towards I think age 40 or so, he decided that he wanted to be a full-time artist, and he went to Germany and started basically his acknowledged for I believe is Blue Rider, because there were two expressionist clubs or movement in Germany. That was one was I guess Bridge and then Brook or something like that, and then the other one was the Blue Rider. But anyway, I think he belongs to Blue Rider Club. Eventually, he was associated with it. But if you look at Kandinsky artwork in the beginning, he did basically he fell into the group of Fauvism or Fauvist artists, because if you look at his paintings, his landscape paintings, you can see that clearly. But as time went by, he basically started making it simpler and changing the shapes to the point that eventually he started using musical notes, lines, and shapes, to the point that the original landscape could not be identified. Now, there are two general ways you could do it. You could abstract an identifiable subject to the point that it cannot be recognized. That's acceptable. But in general, a true abstract, again, is something you cannot find in nature. So you can do geometric shapes, because geometric shapes, perfect geometric shapes, are not in nature, like circle. We don't have perfect circle, we don't have perfect square or stuff like that. But at any case, that's what it is so far. And I do paint abstract. I posted 60 paintings on my site, and you could go to it and take a look at it. But anyway, we have abstract and then we have concrete. So abstract is the opposite of concrete. Concrete is something you can feel, you can see, you can identify. And again, you can abstract the everyday objects. Anyway, there are different forms of ways of expression. You can use lines, you can use, again, shapes, and you can use imagine your imagination. Imagine some shapes in your head, and you can mix it with color. You can mix it with pattern. There are so many ways to do it. There is not one particular move. But because eventually abstract expressionists in the US, basically they continued that, but they continued that basically in forms of colors, and basically Hans Hoffman is a very good example of it. They call it abstract expressionist, but really it's abstract. They did just colors. They use colors. The technique is from expressionism. The technique is vigorous and kind of strong, and the brush strokes have lots of energy, but truly is abstract. So they call it, because of the technique, they call it abstract expressionism. And at any case, I'll show you some of my videos here, and if I could maybe add it later. and then add this audio to the video. There are 4 of them, and 2 of them are shapes. One is on a white background, the other one is on multi-colored background, and then there is 2 beneath or below it. One is just mostly color, but is a rhythmic color. This has a movement. The other one is also colors. This more stationary is 4 main colors, and they intruded basically into their neighbors. Like for example, the black went into the 3 other neighbors, the crimson and green, or bluish green, and the red, and then the other colors did the same. Anyway, to be honest, painting abstract is more difficult nowadays, because Kandinsky alone basically did just about every conceivable way of paintings abstract. And if you look at his early painting, and eventually when he got loose from cut loose from Fauvism, you could see that he uses musical notes and lines, straight lines, and etc. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. And again, abstraction now, or painting abstract, is not easy, because especially if you want to use new shapes, because the design, how are you going to design something, how are you going to come up with it? Are you just going to pour paint like you know, abstract expressionist, or just using shapes? At any case, you can decide for yourself, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. But I think nowadays painting abstract is not easy. To come up with new shapes is not easy, and even have something decent with colors, it's not, because it's been done many times. Now, was Kandinsky alone in that? No, but he's acknowledged as the first one. Possibly there were some that painted abstract paintings at the same time, but he's the leader and the major artist. And I did another video for famous painters of the 20th century. At the top were Matisse and Picasso, not in that order particularly. There could be one Picasso, second Matisse, or first Matisse, second Picasso, and mostly it has a lot to do also with their fame. And then Kandinsky, I included Kandinsky as one of them. The other ones are, I guess, Salvador Dali and Chagall. So Chagall lived a long life. I think Chagall lived more than any of them. Although Picasso lived probably to be 92, 93, I think Chagall lived to be 95. And Chagall was also born in old Soviet Union, or old Russia, in Minsk, and now it's a different country. Anyway, it's the capital of a different country. I hope you enjoy it. The whole thing about art is to enjoy yourself. There are a lot of videos on YouTube. They tell you how to paint like Rembrandt, how to paint like Rubens. Don't mind those. Don't even listen to their advice. In the beginning, it's good to paint after masters, old masters. But that art, that traditional art, is basically dead, because the tradition of apprenticeship and a master is gone. There are some painters still paint in that manner, and there's some very knowledgeable, good painters in Italy and in Europe in general. But just find yourself, discover yourself, whether you want to be a realist or a modern artist. Just do your own. Don't want to be second, don't want to play the second fiddle. I mean, you want to be your own, be original if you can. If you're not original, at least paint like the way you're gonna paint. You don't want to be a carbon copy of another master, because no matter how good you are, you always be the second person. It's like you make a copy of Toyota or Honda, a really good seller car that is excellent. They still say you're trying to imitate Toyota or other things. That was just an example. Always be original, always do your thing. Don't let anybody discourage you. Painting takes a long time. I've been in it for 40 years as a professional, and I don't even sell my art. I have them priced, but basically I like to show it to the people, because all the artists want the other people to see it. Once you do it, it's a self-satisfaction. Once people see it is a public satisfaction. Public has the right to see your artwork. Good luck and God